Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mid-Season Cup semi-finals. We're up to the second one. This is the big one for LCK fans, as Gen G will be taking on Top Esports. I'm Atlas, and I am joined, curiously, by the Valdanalyst, after he was Brendan Valdez in the previous series. Unfortunately, LS not feeling so well. Our hearts and minds go out to him as he tries to recover in time for tomorrow's final. But I do have myself a fantastic replacement in the Valdanalyst, who has now dredged through the fire and flame that was the previous best of five.
It was an experience, right? We had some of the best LPL teams here fighting in the MSC, even though at times did not look like it. But to be real, I think FPX towards the end were proving that they were actually like a top team. They were playing really well. I think I was just pretty disappointed by JDG in a lot of those scenarios. And, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, FPX, can they go up against either of these teams on this side of the bracket? I feel like after that performance, I would predict that regardless of who makes it through, it's probably going to be the winner between Gen G or Top Esports.
I think it's a really interesting thing, because I think that FPX actually just play to the level of their opponent a lot of the time and then do it better. It's something that Doinby's always done on every team that he's ever played for. He's just been weird and wonderful and has managed to capitalize on the nuances of his opponent's play and then use that against them. It was what he was famous for in Rogue Warriors. I think a couple of years ago was when he had his breakout crazy pick performances and things like that. So I think whoever makes it into that final, it's going to be very interesting to track how FPX do. And I'm very excited that our 2019 World Champions are going to be representing the LPL and of course themselves in the final tomorrow. However, we're yet to find out who it's going to be to face off against them. Top Esports, led by Knight in the mid lane, the man with the golden left hand that everyone talks about, the pride of Chinese mid lane power. He'll be up against a player that we can only say is back to form in this tournament, and that's BDD. Currently doing 34% of his team's damage in every game. That's normally something that we boast about Ruler, but for this tournament, it is all about BDD. He has been so damn good, and if Knight ever wants that top-tier competition coming out of the LCK, he's got it with BDD in this particular series. As we looked at the roster, Life still in there. I have seen Kellen backstage, so he is there in case. But Gen G going to be fielding this roster for now.
Yeah, the best damage dealer in the mid lane is really the talk of the town here for this tournament. Everybody talking about how big of a just hard carry BDD is being, especially on his Azir.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to see much of that Azir this time, because they might just ban it every game. Unless Knight thinks that he can really handle it. But again, it's not really like a lane-focused pick for BDD. Like, he does well in the lane. He always farms really well. And then all of a sudden, all 5 of your teammates are inside of the enemy teammates, and you lose.
Yeah, and it's just over. I think it's interesting because actually they're not going to be able to ban it every game, Brendan Valdez. They're not going to ban it in the first game because no one's going to be banning anything in the first game.
Oh, man.
And I don't necessarily know what that means because Ruler versus Jackie Love, I think this is a matchup that a lot of people have been really excited about as well. 2017 World Champion AD Carry, 2018 World Champion AD Carry facing off against one another. Of course, Ruler still on the same team. Jackie Love switching over to Top Esports. There are matchups all across the board that are really exciting to look at. And even Rascal against 369, I think, is worth talking about, because Rascal has been performing quite well in this tournament so far. I feel like he is one of those players that ramps up towards the end of a year. Summer Split has always been sort of the Rascal show, and was certainly when he was playing for Dragon Axe last year. But 369 as well. I mean, we all remember back to his Worlds performances where he was doing absolutely crazy stuff, especially on that Kled with his incredible getaways. He's a clutch player also, and I think that'll be fun to watch. And then you've got Klid versus Casa. And so, how do we get to that as number 4 matchup? And it's Klid versus Casa that we're talking about. 2 storied names, of course. Klid mostly last year. Mikasa mostly for his performance alongside Maple and the Flash Wolves, but has now moved over to China, played for a couple of teams. You might know an org called RNG that are pretty good as well.
Who's that? What?
Oh, yeah. They got that
Never
dude
heard of
called-
them. They're
they got
not here.
The dude called Gun. Uzi, that's the guy. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
I thought it was AK. I've been wrong this whole time.
Yeah, you silly boy. That's a knight in the mid lane here this game.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see.
And
This
maybe
guy.
he is going to be an AK. He's often, he's got a Gatling gun in a lot of his games. Does like to prioritize that Corki. But do you know what I think the optimal matchup is in the mid lane, Brennan Valdez?
Azir Corki?
You know what? So, do you know, to be perfectly honest, that could happen.
No, yeah. I think
His Azir is really good, and Knight's
it'll happen
Corki
like
is
at
really
least
good.
a couple times, you know?
Oh, God. No, I'm talking
for the
about in the
blind
blind pick. Like, it could happen, actually.
Zed Mirror?
Well, I want Zed Mirror so bad. Or Zed versus Echo would also be sick because Knight is a fantastic Echo player and BDD was the Zed player. BDD
They've already locked in.
Pantheon, though.
What is this?
So never mind. Clid has locked in his Elise. Rascal's locked in Set, and Ruler's locked in Kai'Sa. What? So this composition, it's not based on power picks on Gen G's side. They've just decided that this is the comp that they want to run. And look, I mean, they do have tools throughout the game, but I can't see where the Valdanalis, take it away.
He's hovering Zed.
Nah,
He's going to
it's the
pick Echo.
BDD could have been the guy. He could have been the guy.
I think the Pantheon is pretty good into the Echo early on.
Yeah?
This is interesting. I wonder if they've kind of built a composition around what they think top esports would pick in a blind pick, especially because we saw in the first series that the priority on the Varus was way, way high. And then
I mean, Varus
Gen G
auto
are like,
wins
nah.
games.
Yeah, alone.
Yeah.
But Gen G's like, nah, yeah, nah. We're gonna play Kai'Sa Nautilus like it's 2000. I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to go back in time.
Not 2020.
And have an average draft for the back in time. Like,
For the blind pick.
I don't even know. I mean, there must be a strategy here. They do have a pretty amazing team fight. They can certainly get into the back line with Pantheon and Kai'Sa. Together, they can deliver some hell to the Varus. So, look, if they can get their engages online, then it is going to make sense. However, I mean, top esports just have better champions in most of the roles. Like Wukong versus Set, not a great top laner these days. Let's see how it goes as we hop on the Rift for game number 1, blind pick. Okay, here we are. Valdanalis. We would do the cheers,
Yeah.
but it's not time for that just yet. As Knight, he's done the fan service. I think that LPL is favored in this one. Fan service, blind pick style. I mean, Clid is on his very famous Elise. This is something that gets banned away from him all the time. And should be able to help set things up. Like, as far as gank support for an Elise is concerned, like, holy crap. This is one hell of an early game opportunity for Clid to get around and really do what he wants to do. And he's against a Trundle. Like, he doesn't care about that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you highlight that. I wonder if this is a draft specifically built around Clid.
The
and
Clid
his
pop-off
Elise.
draft.
Yeah, it's like, okay, everybody's going to have CC. Clid is going to roam around. We're going to dive turrets. They can dive top. They can dive bot.
Yep.
You know, there's so many options for Clid. And their mid game, obviously, is incredibly strong if they do get ahead. Late game, you're going to be falling behind a little bit. Like, Pantheon's going to fall off a little bit. Elise is going to fall off. Whereas, you know,
But I mean,
we've seen what Wukong can do in a lot of these drafts. We saw Zoom in the previous best of 5, and of course Varus. That kind of goes without saying. So,
I mean, Varus is great, but he is more of a mid-game champion, right? I mean, you think lethality, you think mid-game power, and AP Kai'Sa is insane damage. 369 is going down relatively low. The grit working out here for Rascal is going to flash, and there's first blood from 369. What the hell was Rascal thinking?
well,
take it away, Valdez.
yeah, oh man, that's definitely a bit of a mistake there. I suppose, you know, Set is a great duelists, just one-on-one, right? They weren't eating too many minion shots. Although I think Rascal was eating a little bit more because he was on 369's side. And then he just expected to win the trade, but eventually once you commit, you're all in, right? There's no backing away from that. Saying like, oh, I'm just gonna, run away. No, because then you get less autos in.
Speedy gonna get the stun here as Clid waiting off to the side, biding his time though. Speedy does get a lot of damage down with that Q. Okay, Pantheon pretty binary still, even after the rework. So we'll just see whether it is going to be something that he can utilize to get Clid in there. But so far with top being a disaster, not super great, as BDD is going to find a fair bit of damage here, but takes a lot in return based on the turret. Knight might just be teleporting back to this lane. And look, this is a bottom lane. No Varus versus Varus. That's the analysis that I have for you guys.
Thank you for that.
Guess what happens? The Varus wins.
TV's going to come in. Let's see how much Knight respects this.
It's like a fair bit, but the stun is still going to be available. There we go. Flash Cocoon's going to come down. Caster in position. Knight flashes away. Now BDD possibly going to need to flash as well, and he's going to do so. Gets himself to relative safety, but that's double flashes from the mid laners and one from Clid as well. He's now looking to try and force a phase dive. Does so. It is phase dive, right? Because he also has phase drive resonance, which is just really frustrating. It's just so many phases.
Yeah, I think that's
good old
his
Echo.
like, little bubble thing, right? The phase drive resonance.
No, that's his 1, 2, 3 hit.
Oh, the passive. Okay.
Yeah, parallel convergence is the bubble thing.
Right.
Yeah. And then Time Winder, that's a good one. Time, Echo, good vibes.
Yeah.
Chrono Break,
he's able.
Yeah, he's able to turn the game back in time in case we have a technical difficulty. That's pretty hectic ultimate, to be perfectly honest.
369 is up 2 levels, just casually. Of course, there is a ginormous wave up in the top side.
Yep.
Which is part of the reason, but also, of course, because Rascal did lose that trade early on.
Is ginormous actually a word now? Because people have used it so much.
Yeah, it's like a slang, I guess. It like gets added to the dictionary eventually once enough people start using it, right?
It's like gigantic and enormous are just going to be gone. Just no one's going to use them anymore.
No one says enormous.
Yeah, we should start using enormous. Watch this
I'm
enormous
down.
gank from Clid. That was not as enormous as I wanted it to be.
That's why it's disappearing.
Well, 369 going 1v2. He does have decoy available, of course, and does do a lot of damage to the Clid as we get the activation of the Conqueror. Volatile Spiderling does basically nothing, and he's just spam stopping in the lane. Thanks, Wukong. Fantastic.
Yeah. You were talking about the Spinning Monkey yesterday. We had Spinning Monkey versus Spinning Horse earlier.
Helicopter Horse.
Yeah.
Oh, dodges the Q. That's actually a big deal for the trade. For Knight, keeps him alive for a bit longer as Ruler might just die here. The Flash Play is going to miss, though, as Ruler also is going to flash. Light should be dead here. As Yuyanja, that's fantastic, just blocks out the dredge line for the escape. And that is going to be a 2v2 kill on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, we're going to have to take a look at the replay, but it looks like they were desperately trying to handle the wave and maybe, like, clip some of the minions, but they just moved too far forward as another fight.
Yep. 369 is going to face off against Rascal here. Clid is in position, but yeah, there was no even haymaker opportunity for Rascal. He was just CC'd for too long. As Clid does get the flash out of Caster as in comes BDD, unable to get into position for any stuns. And meanwhile, Top Esports on the bottom side of the map just eats through these plates. Ruler with a Void Seeker finds 1 minion, whereas Top Esports find 160 damage for both, 160 gold for both of their laners. This is, it's not doing so well here for Gen G.
Yeah, they're kind of getting bopped here in the early game. They are looking for these plays, but Top Esports, the second they see the draft, they're like, oh, I mean, we know exactly what they're trying to do. It's no secret to anybody. There's not much scaling in their composition. They have a snowbally, early mid-game kind of composition, and as long as we don't die to that, we'll be fine. Alongside of, 369 casually picking up a solo kill, bottom lane winning.
I think Rascal inting level 2, was certainly something that put a spanner in the works.
I think it was level 1, actually.
I think they, yeah, maybe.
You might have been right. I'm not sure.
Well,
This is really early on.
certainly not what you want, as Ruler's going to let one of the honey fruit go to waste. Parallel Convergence not going to find Ruler. Yuyandra over the wall with the Blast Cone. And Ruler makes it back to lane. Okay, so now, what are they going to be able to do here? One of the good things about the comp here that Gen G have put together for themselves is that BDD can jump on top of Jackie Love, and they will need to utilize the Lantern in order to make things work. Life definitely dead here. The flash play was aimed at Life instead of Ruler, but they still get the flash out of the Kai'Sa regardless. And just sometimes a better champion wins. How these things go. Rascal, surprised he wasn't actually able to utilize the Haymaker there, as Kai'Sa's going to get blocked. In goes Clid. They should be able to find their first kill. Kai'Sa going to go down, but Clid's going to be traded. Timewinder coming back. Life down to about half health as Rascal almost throws his life away again. Knight tanking up the turret, but Chrono Break is one hell of an ability. And Pantheon here just a little bit too late. Man drop still on cooldown.
Yeah, the Pantheon in this game is just really doing nothing. I mean, he was late to the top side when they had the 2-on-2. He tried to set up the plays in the mid lane, but once they fail, you know, nobody's getting snowballed. Not him, not Elise. So he's just not even there before the Echo, which is kind of sad. And it's been nothing but sadness for the side of Gen G, as we'll see here. You know, they're able to burst down Kai'Sa, but the rotation is already there from Knights, and that's really where they get the lion's share of the money once they get the 2 kills and the extra plates. As there is some focus now on the Rift Herald, as it is after 8 minutes.
Yep, just checking out the area. It's not quite a 3,000 gold lead yet for top esports, but it's getting there. Mount Drake hasn't been considered either throughout this game as BDD gets the stun on the Knight. But Q is blocked by the shield from the Parallel Convergence, and it's a good trade here for the Echo. Seeker's Arm Guard absolutely ruins the day of good old BDD. Would have been a decent item as well if BDD hadn't have been so fed on his Yasuo yesterday also. As here he goes, just popping down to the bottom lane. Hey Jackie Love, how you doing? That's,
I can hear the Korean commentators behind us.
Yeah. Not great. Yuyand's even going to steal away that Rift Scuttler as in comes Ruler, trying to take down Jackie Love, but 4 members of top esports are already here. Rascal teleported in, he breaks some faces, and then sends himself into the death chamber. Might be able to take Jackie Love with him, as there we go, gets in there, locks down the ultimate, and is now trying to run away, but Hook says no. He has been leashed and taken down. So, 3 for 1 is going to be the trade, and you don't need to be a mathematician to work out who won out on that one. Top esports continue the snowball.
Yeah, this early composition, the Sinner draft, if Ellis was here and I can say what he would say, is it's getting cleansed. It's really not doing much. The Pantheon, another man drop, another miss, and then another kind of awkward fight that they feel forced into. Like, you're not going to win from here. Once you get your arrowed to the face and then, you know, it's 4v2. Even with the TP, you're like, hey, maybe they can turn it around, though. It's really just Rascal with a nice mechanical play, just barely able to eke out the kill, barely. And had he missed, I mean, that would have been a 3 for 0. So, big losses around the Rift as a whole for Gen G. Top esports look much cleaner, with the draft that they have selected.
I mean, BDD does have a decent CS advantage at the moment, but the problem is he's not on a 0 or something like that. Not someone that can change the entire landscape of the game as we move into the later stages. He's wanting to be winning right now, and he's not. And you can see, Varus is a good champion, Gen G. Why did you not pick it? Like, I don't know.
Good question. We're seeing many cases as for, you know, why Varus is so highly prized by many teams.
Yeah, it's boggling my mind. As we're not even going to find the dredge line, and Clid might have to go up into the sky. He's going to do so. There's the knock-up. Clid flashes. Avoids the Parallel Convergence stun, but still has to put that ability on cooldown. It's something that Elise certainly does rely on. So Top Esports remain in entire control. And this has been a theme of today, is early games that have gone absolutely horrendously.
Yeah.
And then mid games that just get stalled for a really long time, and then the team with the early game lead generally wins, has been today. It's odd. Facebreaker going to come down, 369 taking some damage. It's Clid and Life are going to turn up. Put down the Rift Herald and look for a dive here. The decoy's on cooldown, but he does still have the spinny knocker. Life's going to go down in a 1 versus 3. 369 almost able to escape, but 1 for 1 in the end. Yu Yancha turns up. Hook's going to land max range, and Clid is going to go. Goodbye. Rascal's going to be let live, but 2 for 1 trade. A few plates going over to Gen G, but that's still a downgrade if ever I've seen one. And Jackie Love, he's chunking through this Pantheon like he's made of Swiss cheese.
Yeah, Varus is a pretty good champion, by the way. I just felt like I might want to say that once again.
Yep, like the reiteration.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody on the side of Top Esports now is very far ahead. That composition on the left side of your screen that had to get ahead is devastatingly behind, enormously behind.
Ginormously behind.
If I may say myself.
Yeah.
It's a good job by 369. Turning it around, says, okay, you know, the Nautilus, he's like, I can live for long enough that the Aftershock is going to fall down, and that I can pick up at least 1 kill. And a good turnaround there by Yuyanta to make sure they pick up an extra kill on the back side.
Yeah, well, so far, things not going great. 5,000 gold is the lead here. Mountain Drake finally was picked up. Infernal's going to be the next one. Cloud Soul coming in afterwards, as we were taught yesterday. Always expected Cloud Soul. It's just how that one goes. 3
so
plates.
Many today already.
Yeah, I know. We had, like, we were bookended, I think, during yesterday with, as far as the main 6 games. There was like not Cloud Soul, 4 Cloud Souls, then not Cloud Soul. That's how the day went.
Oh, windy day.
It was definitely windy. As top will move in and take down the outer turret in the mid lane. Nothing BDD can do about that one. And I can't help but think, you know, you did this to yourselves, Gen G. You know?
Yeah, I mean, they were so confident about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, another fight here.
Yeah, well, Decoy is going to buy enough time here as the teleport does come in. 369 down to about half health as we're going to turn it, but Casa is so tanky. Life flashes to get himself out of the way. The Haymaker is basically ignored. A double kill here for Jackie Love. Varus, everyone, is a good champion. We need to remind Gen G, and a triple kill should help do that.
All right, pack it up. What is going on? I mean, you can see they're like desperately looking for whatever pick they can get. I mean, Ruler wasn't even there. He doesn't have TP. It's just desperation at its finest right now. We're almost 9,000 gold lead in 15 minutes. This might even be bigger than some of the leads we had earlier today, which were massive. Enormous.
Ginormous.
Yeah. And I don't know. Now from this position with this composition, like, we saw some leads earlier today that were actually, like, some of the teams were almost able to come back, or they did come back. Those were with compositions that had scaling components. This one doesn't really at all. I mean, Kaisa a little bit, but yeah, you gotta wait like 4 or 5 items for her.
Yeah, she needs at least 3 to even be a champion, to be totally honest. Unless you get ahead, and spoiler alert, guys, not ahead.
Yeah. There's not much to say about this fight. I mean, they look for 1. It's 3-on-1, and then all of a sudden it's 3-on-3. The rotation's faster from Top Esports, and they're miles ahead.
6-1-4. Not bad. Jackie Love having a good time so far this game.
So already Wadid's prediction is wrong.
Yeah.
He was like 3-0 all the way. I'm all in.
Well, he did. He was certainly on the Gen G hype train yesterday. From minute 1. And they did make it here. That's definitely more than any other LCK team has done thus far. However, this is not exactly a great sign thus far. There's the Nimbus Strike, but you can see 369 cycloning around. Both of them stopped. Yeah, Rascal, no idea which one to hit. Does get himself his Grit Shield, but you're not going to win that, dude. He's 6-1-4, and you were 1-4. Like
I don't know what to say.
He had his 1 and 4s in the right order, but they were just in the wrong columns.
I know.
Yeah.
I just like, oh man, it's almost like he's like given up at this point. He's like, well, go next. I don't know. Like, doesn't matter what kind of engage you get. You're both auto attack heavy champions, and the other guy has tons more damage in his items already, not to mention levels.
Yeah, well, Knight is going to be engaged on here. He's got Chrono Break, so he's not dying at all. However, the mid and jungle will. Support's going to go down next. Triple kill here for Jackie Love as Rule is trying to run away from this entire game, actually. He's going to try and go through the fountain to escape in order to get into another game that he could potentially win, because this one is about as over as a game can possibly be. 18 minutes, 10,000, 11,000 gold is the lead, as Top Esports will take this inhibitor as well. No, it's going to go down to 1 health, something like that. Rascal does manage to save that one. Means that Genji can't farm the super creeps on the bottom side of the map before the Baron does come up. There's the superplex. The goes golden. There's the Cyclone. Massive damage into the backline. Rule is going to help grab that kill onto Jackie Love. Fair bit of damage onto Knight. Chrono Break is going to still be there. The health bars are just tiny on Genji's side, and it looks like the carry is actually 369 in this team fight. Casa taken down by that Void Seeker in the end, and that is probably the best that Genji could have ever hoped for, as they do put that gold lead under 10,000 gold by about 120 or something like that.
Yes, well done. And it's just a little bit of, you know, they didn't have to rush to take that inhibitor, but they really did want it. And they got themselves in a bad position. This is Genji like, oh, it's 4v5. Let's fight. Yeah, it seems good. There's no, you know, it's just kind of desperation at this point. As this was the follow-up fight. You can see this was Genji's best opportunity because it was such a, you know, drawn-out fight. Everybody was out of position, and that left the backline totally vulnerable. They couldn't use their 6-1 Varus to just do intense damage the entire time, and so that did end up winning Genji the fight, although they are massively behind.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game is still over. Cloud Drake does sort of save Genji a little bit here, because it means that they don't have to contest for Drakes, really. Although it does mean that Top Esports can run faster to the enemy Nexus. True. Which is basically what they need to do to win this game. Killing the Nexus is the best strategy, and taking down that inner turret top lane is certainly going to help to that end.
Yeah, Baron's live. We've seen a lot of LPL teams today, or not even just today, the whole tournament just run at the Baron.
Yep, I mean LCK teams as well. Feels like Baron or bust for a lot of these guys. But yeah, Genji, they're not going to be running to the Baron, Valdez. Not unless Top get there first. And even then, I don't know whether Genji leave their base. That inhibitor is still alive though, so at least Genji will be able to exit if they can go and tidy up that minion wave that will kill the Baron, kill the inhibitor very quickly. Hook is going to land there. BDD taking a lot of damage. Knight's going to take him down. Life very, very low as Rascal gets into the backline, but they've missed a lot of their damage. Haymaker is decent, and Rascal's dead. Double kill here for Knight. Could he possibly get the Penta? The rest of Genji going to run away and try and deny it, as the inhibitor turret's going to go down. This inhibitor will definitely fall, and maybe this will just be the game, as the minions are still doing work on this bottom inhibitor. Casa taking up that front line, cleared. We're going to try and do anything to hold on to some form of relevance, as there's the flash hook. Ruler, nice sidestep. Still going to be double inhibitors down. Free Baron, if Top would like it, as then they could walk through with some super creeps and take down this pesky Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, if this were LS on the desk, you might say, you don't want to take down the inhibitors too early because it's going to give the extra farm, as Ruler decides, I'm going in, and he blows his flash. But at this point, I feel like when you're over 11,000 gold ahead at 22 minutes, it's not going to matter that much. Also, it gives you the freest Baron of all time. So yeah, it's not really that big of a deal, and it's probably actually beneficial in this case to take the inhibitors down. Genji have such a mountain to climb that 2 inhibitors down it's not really going to hurt that much.
I mean, right now, I think all Gen G should be talking about is what they want to do after they've banned Varus in Game 2. That's the I hate to be a negative Nancy, and I'm not often a negative Nancy, but I don't know if there is.
You're a positive Patrick.
I am a positive Patrick, an optimistic Omar.
Omar, I like that.
His ruler gets taken down almost dead.
Optimistic Oppa.
Yeah, there we go.
You're the Oppa of the desk.
I am.
That's why.
I am. I am older than you, so it does make sense.
Yes.
I am your young.
Yeah. Well,
I don't really. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
There's
we're
no
not going to go into
optimistic adjective that starts with an H. So.
Yeah. Happy? Not life. Life not happy right now. As Knight, he's going to go golden. They're going to take down the last inhibitor turret. Klid sidesteps a fair bit of damage there as the piercing arrow was flying through. But that's going to be the third inhibitor. 23.5 minutes. One of the faster games that we've seen this tournament. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't the fastest after these Nexus turrets do go down. Supercharger comes in. Gen G looking for their last-ditch effort. Superplex into the backline. Rascal gets a big shield and then taken down. In goes Ruler. They do get the pick onto Jackie Love. But guess what? Ruler's going to be dead immediately afterwards. The pillar was fantastic. 369 gets the double. Knight gonna grab one as well, augmenting his already extraordinary scoreline. Klid gonna flash to get himself onto the fountain. If he could flash out of the game, he would. Unable to. Now coming down, goal. Oh, double stopwatch. Oh,
there. Another one.
That's called delaying the inevitable. That is a low frame rate on your slow motion video, guys. As the Nexus does eventually for 24 minutes and 12 seconds. As Top Esports utterly annihilate Gen G in this blind pick game. And I am still unaware of why those champions were picked.
Yeah. I forgot I was the analyst and I had to vote for the player of the game. And I was just staring at the sheet and I'm like, there is no player of this game.
No.
They all played well.
Jackie Love and Knight probably both.
I voted for you, Jens.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he set up the play in the bottom side. Got that snowball rolling.
That's
I thought
true.
about 369 and I was like, he started the other snowball essentially.
Yeah, 369 also did play very, very well. So I guess you could basically roll the dice and give it to whichever one you
that's
want.
why I'm
Just
like,
not Karsa. Don't give it to Karsa.
Not Karsa. Like, Knight did well playing against pressure. Like, the way he played the Echo is really good. Like, it's not easy to play into the Pantheon in the mid lane like that. So even though it wasn't a super flashy performance, he still was popping off in a defensive way. So
yeah, and getting into the side lanes where he was required, right?
Yeah.
And allowed Top Esports to snowball to a level that we hadn't seen so far. Even like you were talking about, our last series had a lot of early games that did go very awry, but they were often dragged out by the opposition. Gen G entirely unable to do that as Top just destroyed them. So now, as we move towards a game number 2 with bans back in the game, we'll see whether that's going to be enough to actually help Gen G out here. But honestly, if like that's their highest priority draft,
yeah, that was a big question mark for me. I mean,
what?
I don't know. They lost Edgar, right? He's not the head coach anymore, and now it's like
Odin moved up to head coach on the 25th of May, so that's like 5 days ago?
Yes, 5 days ago.
Yeah, so has been, not very long since they've had their new head coach. But I mean, yesterday, their drafts were fine. That was not something that we were worried about at all.
Maybe
right?
they just like overthought it too much,
Well, this is the thing. Like, when you see the Kai'Sa come in, like, I don't know, what's that there to counter,
It's there to lose lane, and this was level 1, by the way.
No, it was, right.
Just straight up, like, hitting each other with auto attacks.
Yeah.
It's there to lose lane and wombo combo in the mid lane, and mid game, which was, as we saw, absolutely not worth it. I mean, a little bit of results-based analysis, like, if the lanes went differently, it could have worked, but I really like the well-roundedness of Top Esports draft much better. I mean, it's blind pick. You can pick anything.
Yeah. So
and you pick this, what Gen G have there is like a mediocre normal pick ban round.
No, that's a lost
you know?
draft.
Yeah.
They intentionally picked the
Mediocre at
draft.
best,
Yeah.
right? You know? It's...
Oh, man.
Look at that pillar. That was actually cute.
And I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
We're over it now.
Yeah, let's just talk about how good Top Esports look. I think Knight's certainly looking in form, continuing to look in form here today as well, much like day one. Finally turning up. I know a lot of the LPL cast is very happy that the guy that's received a lot of accolades is finally internationally performing after a disappointing Rift Rivals. But so far here this tournament, he is very, very good.
Yeah, the dude is awesome. He has really impressed myself, and I know pretty much everybody that has been watching. Definitely at least top 2, if not top 1 mid laners in the tournament, I'd say.
Yep. I mean, it was him and BDD, right? And he just made BDD look like fools. So I think it has to be Knight at the head of the discussion right now. But still, there is at least 2 more games to go. And it could be enough. Like, this is the slow motion with bad frame rate.
Oh, man.
Damn, that is a lot of Wukong damage.
Yeah, 369 started his own snowball, and then there was a second snowball in the bottom lane. And you raised the question, you know, what's the Kai'Sa for? I don't know why you would ever pick Kai'Sa when Varus exists, when Aphelios exists.
Why would you pick anything other than Varus?
In a blind pick, yes, you're right. But, like, to make a case for Kai'Sa, you got to go way down the list, right? And it did not turn out well, as we did see. So
the only reason you pick a different AD carry other than Varus is to counter Varus. So
like
maybe he was expecting a Varus counter to be picked instead of Varus, and then went the complete other way into the rock, paper, scissors. And then, by that logic, got countered by Varus in the end anyway.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking maybe they just thought too much about it, you know?
And I'm like trying to think of, like, what do you pick into the Varus? Like, there isn't, like, actually
Varus.
Very many options, right? Especially when you compare it with any defensive support that you want, especially Yu Yanja on the Thresh, a champion he's very good at, and he's able to reposition. And it is going to be 369 that picks up player of the game after winning the level 1 duel, doing ridiculous amounts of damage. In fact, 30% of his team's damage with a Varus on his team. And was 4,000 gold in the lead. Got 3 solo kills. It's the last time I say anything good about Rascal. Seemed to jinx him every single time.
Rascal seemed just surprised. He's like, wait, how can Set lose this, you know? Like, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, 369 was definitely the player of the game in this one. My
played extremely
vote
well.
was me inting the pause vote.
Not again.
369, I would like to rescind my Yanza vote, sorry.
It's okay, because we don't actually tell anyone our votes. So who voted for who. So the fact that the right guy got the award.
Well, I think it's too late. Like,
yeah, you announced.
I need a chrono break. Let's get Echo back. Like,
let's talk tonight. We can talk tonight about it. He seems to have all of the chrono breaks. Happy to see his famous Echo in this game, though.
Yeah. I'm
just sad to see Gen.G not quite make it here on time. So we'll see whether they can turn up for game number 2. That is, you know, back to very standard League of Legends with bans involved, counter picks involved, and things like that. But this has taught us anything. I mean, it doesn't look like Gen.G are the first seeds in this particular semifinal. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens after game 1, right? FPX got dunked. Okay, they got destroyed in game number 1, and then they came back to actually just pummel JDG 3 times in a row. So I think Gen.G just have to wipe that off. That was not a great draft. Say, let's go into pick ban, normal games, and take it from there.
That's exactly right. So I guess game 1 is happening right after this short break. The blind pick was not one that we want to remember necessarily, because our Gen.G didn't quite show up. So guys, after a short break, we'll be back with some regular best of 5 for game number 2.